Every filmmaker's dream is to bring their creative vision to life with meaningful stories that will leave a lasting impact on their audience. Using talent and technology, they yearn to turn their vision into reality, to touch many hearts. What if there was a powerful, easy-to-use cinematic tool that would free you from the constraints of production time and budget? The company specializing in creating premium professional camera stabilizers and accessories, Gudsen Technology, introduces the new Moza Slypod Pro, a compact, lightweight pod that allows you to get those once impossible shots from any angle. Slypod Pro is an essential tool for all filmmakers to achieve precise and stable shots anywhere. It's more than a monopod, automatically extending to impressive lengths using a mobile app for wireless control. It horizontal tilts up to 60 degrees with a tripod stand, creating incredibly steady and flexible shots. It's more than a slider, easy and effortless to pack up and quick to set up within minutes. Its compact size gets you into even the most narrow of spaces for those hard-to-reach shots with ease. It is more than a jib arm, with a gimbal and other gears to compose shots with dramatic perspective without using a drone. Slypod Pro is made from lightweight carbon fiber, solid and weatherproof, stable and sturdy. It's ideal for both indoor and outdoor shots. Whether you're a cinematic filmmaker or a product creator, or even if you're a vlogger, we know that you will enjoy the Slypod Pro as much as you enjoy filmmaking.
Hello everybody, this is Johnny here with MDI. We are today talking about the Gudsen Slypod Pro, which is a new product currently still at Kickstarter. Here with me, we have our two special guests, and they're going to give you guys as much information as possible about the in-depth tutorial and how to use a Slypod Pro. We have Chris and Attila. So I would like you guys to introduce yourself, give us everybody else a little more about who you are. So we can start with Chris.
Hello, everybody. My name's Chris, like Johnny said. I'm a videographer, photographer, and YouTuber. I work all over the world on wedding films, on corporate projects, and I also have a YouTube channel where I review tech, I do tutorials, and I just sit here and tell everybody my opinion about new products, and I do how-to videos, things like that. So that's me in a nutshell.
That was easy enough, So we have Ati. How about you? Tell us a little about who you are.
Yeah, hi there. I'm Attila. I'm sitting in Munich, Germany, and I pretty much do the same like Chris does, but just in Germany. So I have a YouTube channel. I'm a photographer, videographer. I do content production and all that nice stuff you can do with a video camera.
Man, you guys are a little short this time, so I'll try to switch around. So this is about you, all the people watching this. So if you have questions about the Slypod Pro, this is a great time to ask your question. Keep in mind that it takes about 10 to 20 seconds before we see the question. So the earlier you can start typing, the more faster I will see it, and I will distribute it to Chris and Attila so they can decide whether or not they can answer that. So the first thing we'll talk about is the physical of the Slypod Pro. I have it here with me, and then behind the Slypod E. So who wants to talk first, Chris or Attila? Which one want to go first to talk about the physical?
I think we should go for Attila because mine hasn't actually arrived yet, so I can't really talk about the physical.
Yeah, so I got lucky and mine already arrived. Here in the front, you can see the Slypod E in size comparison. So the Slypod Pro is a little bit bigger, and you can see it here. So this is the Slypod Pro, the whole Pro without the feet. The feet are right now attached here on the Slypod E, as you've seen it in the video in the beginning. And the biggest difference between the two are the carbon fiber that was worked into the Slypod E in the Slypod Pro. So this is way lighter. The Pro, I think, is almost the same weight as the E, but it extends to about twice the length the E does, and it's quieter. So one of the biggest complaints about the E was that it's too loud while filming. Well, with the Slypod Pro, you can film with audio because it's not as loud as the E was. So yeah, that's basically the biggest difference. Also, the handle got a little bit reworked. So if you're using it as a jib, you have a better grip here on the bottom. And also the buttons have been a little bit reworked here on the bottom. But aside from that, oh, and almost forgot, the new tilt head on top of it is way, way better. This is one of the best tilt heads I received with any product lately. It is really sturdy, and even if you have a bigger setup, it easily can carry it. The only limitation is if you're using something like Gimbal on top of it, you probably want to switch it out for something more sturdy. Yeah.
So what about mounting plates? How many mounting plates there is in a Slypod E?
You have two places to mount additional plates. You can either mount it here on the bottom or here on the top where I have it right now. If you're going to work on a tripod, I would recommend using the one on the top. It gives you more leverage when moving or for pan or tilt shots. And also it gives you better weight distribution. Also, if your setup in the front is too heavy, and especially if you're using all the way the extension, you will have the problem that it could tip over. So I would highly recommend you to get any kind of counterweights, and these can be mounted on the bottom. So you will have no issue putting any kind of third-party weights here on the bottom. You just screw them on and you have more leverage if you're moving a heavy setup.
Yeah. So do you use the bottom mounting section for jib shot too, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah, okay.
Continue?
All right. That was a question. Yeah. We do have a question here from Toshi. Hey, Toshi, I have seen you almost every time we have this live stream. Welcome back again. Thank you for being here with us. He wants to know the biggest difference between the Slypod E and Slypod Pro.
I would say it's the weight, the noise level, and definitely the work length.
It's double the size, correct? It's about 12 to 13 inches longer.
Yeah, that's correct.
So
definitely much more useful if you're in any kind of filming scenario where you do need a slider. I mean, I've got the Slypod E here, which is absolutely amazing, and it blows my mind that you can almost take just like a monopod with you and you've got a full motorized slider setup. But having that extra length, I think the Slypod Pro can go up to 53 centimeters extended, like 53 centimeters of movement from the end. It's just amazing. Really, really good.
Yeah, I actually very much like it. I also like about the bottom part of the base or the tripod. I mean, the tripod is larger than the Slypod E, and you can actually move any way you want to. So if you're on a solo running around in an event, this is actually very useful to have on the ground, and you can just adjust it and then go to different angles you need to for a certain shot. Am I correct with that? So what else can we talk about?
Definitely can use it as a monopod with its length. Fully extended, exactly. It's easy, like middle chest height with the feet attached to it. Fully extended.
Last time we did the live stream with, and then I did a quick demonstration about the Slypod, putting them all together. You can actually connect both of them together, and then you can go all the have a way, way long jib shot and hit my ceiling fan and fell down and hit Chris naked back there. That was kind of embarrassing, quote unquote, live, but actually kind of funny too. So, Attila, how do you use your Slypod for? What do you use it for?
Mainly, I use mine for product shots, especially if you do product comparisons or you want to accomplish shots that you can't accomplish with normal sliders, because normally if you place the rail in front of you, at a certain degree, you will hit a point where the rail will be visible in the shot, depending how you set it up, of course. But with a Slypod, this is not going to happen because the rail is moving. So therefore, you can deeply go into product shots without any rails in front of you. And this makes it way easier to accomplish such shots. And you don't need like a super long lens or anything. You can go with a wide angle lens and still accomplish great shots with it.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, Chris, you do a time lapse, and we already have a question here. Can you answer that? Do you try a night time lapse all night long?
I haven't tried a night time lapse all night long, 8 hours. I was shooting with it the other day. You're going to see a video that I shot literally the day before yesterday in a few minutes. And I was out for about 4 hours, and I used about half of the battery. So you could definitely use it for, I would say, 6 to 7 hours, no problem at all. The only thing with night time lapses is your exposure length. So if you're thinking of doing like astrophotography, things like that, then the Slypod's going to be moving, so you're going to get trails. Am I right in saying that?
I wouldn't know. I don't do time lapse.
Well, that's my opinion. So if you are going to do night time lapse, then I've done lots of astrophotography and astro time lapse in the past. So you want to try and keep the camera as steady as you can, the exposure as short as you possibly can to avoid your star trails. So if the camera is moving on the Slypod, then you're probably going to get star trails moving as well. That would be
pretty cool. So what else we can talk about the physical of the product? I mean, there's also the control for up and down, moving, opening, extending, and retracting. We have a USB-C port that you can use to charge, or if you have a power bank like this, you can actually plug into the USB-C port, and you have batteries life forever. So you can actually using it while it's being charged in. Which means earlier Bernhardt was talking about doing night shot. You can just keep a huge power bank next to your Slypod and all night long until your camera battery dies off. So that's a kind of cool thing. And yeah, John, welcome back again too. And this is a comment from John about the payload. They did change the payload from the horizontal. Is it horizontal? Just to make sure. Yeah. Yes, horizontal to be 3.5 kilogram. So, and then vertical would be 6 kilogram. So that's actually increased the weight for it. I have my version of the Slypod Pro is also a kind of like a prototype. I think Attila, yours is also kind of a prototype version of that. So yeah, I'm not sure whether that can go 3.5 kilogram yet, but maybe it's a software firmware update.
I mean, yes. I've used it with the Ronin RS2, with the Canon EOS R, and also the R5, and with some heavy lenses. So this setup is somewhere around 3.5-ish kilos. And I had no issues running with it yesterday. I filmed the whole day yesterday with the Slypod Pro, and I still did not recharge it. And the battery life is actually amazing if you think of that amount of payload you are moving around.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I haven't got that far yet, so I wouldn't know. But again, everybody else, if you have any question, feel free to ask, because this is your time for you. We already have 15 minutes in the thing, and then we run out of things to talk. No, I'm just kidding. We still have stuff to talk about. Let's talk about the app. I mean, let's talk. Attila, tell us a little bit about how you use the app, and then we can go to Chris, how he uses it for time lapse.
Mm-hmm. Basically, it kind of depends on the shot I'm going for. So I like to use it in the remote control mode, because if you are setting up different kind of shots, it's easier to switch through them. So what I like to do is to adjust the speed of the pod itself, and therefore I can control how long the rod takes to fully extend and retract. And I can easily control it through the app. So if I'm setting up a shot, I'm kind of moving in to a point where I want my entry and my exit to be. I set the speed, and I don't have to fiddle around with frame rates. So I don't need to film at 60 frames or something. So I don't have to factor in maybe flickering lights or something, which can be an issue. So you can do super slow shots where you have normal movement in the background. So for example, if you're doing a wedding or something, you can still do like an off-focus pan shot where you have super slow movement, but the people are dancing in real time in the background. So this is something that is really nice, and you can have a lot of stylistic freedom with these features. Another thing is if you're doing a setup where you fully plan your shot and you have like multiple movements in the picture where you have to coordinate maybe like gimbal movement and maybe other motorized sliders or anything. You also can do the creative video mode where you can set entry or start and end points, and also can adjust how fast the Slypod is initiating the movement. So if you are shooting it out, you will have some little movement in there, but it's like for a really, really short time, like half a second or so. And that's thanks to the rigid build of the Slypod Pro. But if you're starting out slowly, you won't have that movement. So you can achieve super slow, steady movements without any kind of jitter or vibrations that you don't want to cut.
Yeah. Hey, Attila, so I have here on my screen of the main page of the app. I'm going to make it bigger. So you want to explain to people about what all these different features here? So do you have an idea when they go to those pages?
Yeah, so we can do the remote control. I mean, that's the one I mostly use, to be honest. So I mean, I also have it here on my phone. So basically, if you don't adjust, if you tap on the speed button, then you can see it's now to 100%. So if I now tell it to fully extend the 52 centimeters, you can see it's doing quite a fast movement, so to say. Now, another thing I can do is if I adjust the speed to, let's say, 25 or 30, and I then fully retract it, you can see it's moving. Oh, no, my bad. If I'm now hitting one of those upward or downward buttons, it will retract and engage in the speed I'm defining. So you can see it's now way slower. And if I now readjust my shot, I just pull down the red scale. So it's retracting faster. I can get to my starting point. And then after I repositioned, I can re-engage in a slow movement. And also I can do it slowly when I'm going back. So this is how I basically use it most of the times. And if I have the need that I need to go slower, I can just dial down the speed, and then it will be way lower. So now I'm at speed 9. And I think if you go all the way down to 1, it takes about 40 minutes to fully extend, as far as I know. So
that's actually good to know. Yeah, some people probably ask about how long it takes the slowest speed.
Yeah, so you can really play around with that. And if you combine that with some motion lapse or time lapse shots, I mean, you have almost endless possibilities with that.
Can you talk about the other option here? I mean, we also have what called gear shift mode and acceleration mode. What are those?
Yeah, I mean, with acceleration mode and gear shift mode, to be honest, I haven't played around with them much. I think gear shift, it starts.
I think gear shift start slow and then go fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so acceleration mode will it starts slow and then goes to the maximum speed by the time it gets to the end. Gear shift goes slow, fast, slow. I think that's how it works, if I'm correct.
So I'm now fully extended and I'm now retracting it. So it's starting slow. and it's accelerating until the end. And then it slows down.
Yeah, it's a good feature to have in all
smooth movement. Yeah. And then we have the acceleration mode. So now it's set to 100. So you can see how it super slowly starts out the movement. Then it gets to 100%. And then it stops more abruptly. And the gear shift mode was slow, fast, slow. And this is more slow, fast, and then just stopped.
So, like, okay, let's go back to the main page of the app. I can probably see. Hopefully, you guys can see. I'm sorry that if you're using a phone to watch this, my screen may be a little bit too small. So hopefully, you can play back later on your big screen. Then you'll be able to see the option there. Proper. I'm not going to hit my fan because it's cold today here. My fan's not even on. So that's a question. And I actually have a question about. We'll show that about whether or not you can do combination with AirCross too. Yes, you can. I'm going to try to demonstrate that a bit later. I played with it a little bit yesterday and figure out a little bit, but not 100%. So I'm going to try that out. So okay, so let's talk about the creative video part of it.
Yeah. So with segmentation, you have a start and an endpoint, basically. So you can set different boundaries, and then it will move between the two. Once you hit confirm in the setup menu, you can adjust it how you want it to start. So you can even go to ultra light. So it will need 3 seconds for the start movement. Then it will complete the movement as you set it in the speed settings. And then it will slowly shut down again. So if I set it now, let's say for light, and I'm telling it to go 12 seconds between 2 entry points, for example, and I hit confirm, then it will engage to the starting point, then we'll do the whole travel. You can now see it's doing the travel. And at the end, it will slow down again.
I'm not doing it right here, so it's not doing it. I'm trying to show the app too how to set it correctly. So do that again. Either one you guys can. So let's go all the way up, right?
For example, yes.
And then we. It's not doing it right. I had it right yesterday, but now
all the way up to the end.
Okay.
Then hit confirm.
Okay.
And now you can adjust the starting speed.
So how long the running time settings?
The running time, I did 12 seconds now.
Okay, was those 12 seconds?
Yes. And then the slow start setting was set to 2 seconds, I think. Light.
Ultra light. Light.
No, light. Yes.
Okay.
Then hit confirm. Confirm. Oh, time is too short.
Yep. No,
the 12 seconds. You need to extend the 12 seconds longer.
Gotcha.
Let's make it 18 seconds. I think 18 is the minimum.
There you go.
And then hit start. And then confirm. Because you can add a delay. So let's say you need to get into position for filming. You can say the movement should start in, I don't know, 10 seconds. And so this is now the movement we just programmed. You can see it takes 18 seconds to fully extend.
So I like about this option also because you can actually program different paths. So you can just keep going until you get different path to set up.
Yeah. So you can do like interview situations where you can have it move around and then always re-enable the same movement, for example.
This would be really cool if you were using it with the AirCross too for like a repeatable sequence, wouldn't it? So if you were doing the same shot over and over again of, say, a product on a table, then you could go backwards and forwards and have the AirCross also programmed so it does the same movement over and over again. So you get that shot nailed every time.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, I think you can do up to 5 different options?
Good question. Never tried it that far, to be honest.
I'm doing it right now. Yep, 5.
5.
That's
all right.
You can go. All right, that's one. That's really cool. So anybody knows about that's for segmentation. What about for steps?
Steps is for I've never actually clicked on steps before, and this will answer the question about the night time lapse earlier. So steps is how you can actually use it for time lapse. So you can set it to move a couple of millimeters and then stop. Take an exposure. You set the amount. You set the exposure time, so you can have a 30-second exposure of the night sky, and then you can set it after that 30 seconds. It'll then move another couple of millimeters. So that's really good for time lapse if you're doing stills. So you can set everything from the travel distance, the frame number, the exposure time, the interval time, the frames per second, and then at the top of that section of the app, it tells you how long your maximum shooting time is going to be. I was just playing with it whilst you were talking about that, and it does look really, really clever. So yes, the answer to the question of can you use it for night time lapse, 100% yes, you can. And somebody else mentioned that earlier as well.
Yeah,
the only thing you need to watch out for that you need the proper cable to control the camera, and there are multiple ones available for it. So depending on what camera you have, you get a bunch coming with the Slypod Pro. If you're having a Slypod E, I think you need to additionally buy those cables. They come right with it.
Yeah. So there's another option called gradient step. So that's similar to step then, right?
Yeah, I think the difference is only that it counts towards video. So if you're doing a traditional time lapse where you're taking photos and re-editing them later and compose it to a video, then you have to do steps and gradient steps because you have to adjust your frame rate. So I'm guessing that this one is the option to go for if you are recording a video straight in camera.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known these options were here when I was out shooting my time lapse the other day, because it would have made life a lot easier. I didn't realize they were built into the app, so I've learned something tonight.
Yeah, that's actually something I was trying to play around with it, but I had no idea. So here I can just set up my. Okay, this is actually I'm going to show this one first. Oh, come on! It doesn't like me. There you go. So I just put together my Slypod Pro on the tripod, and I have my Blackmagic Pocket 4K, which does not have internal stabilization. What I'm trying to show here is how steady the Slypod Pro going to extend and retract, and we can see whether it's vibrating or not. I'm going to make sure everything is tightened, and you're going to see what it looks like on the camera. Sometimes I'm going to have to now try to use it. All right, we'll do this. And you're going to see how this is a faster speed. I cannot focus because it's too far away from me. Okay. You can tell that it's tilting down a little bit because it's a little bit front heavy, which means I definitely need to put something in the back, like a sandbag or something like that to be able to hold it down. But you can see it's actually tilting downwards. So I'm going to back a little bit. Again, this is using the fastest speed available, and you can see that it's actually pretty smooth, right?
Yeah.
Now again, I'm using the Blackmagic Pocket 4K just because the camera do not have stabilization on the camera. This way you can show that whether or not I can do the job. Obviously, I'm holding with my hand also in the back, so it doesn't fall downward like this, but it does the job. In the app, you can see, I'm going to pop it back in the app. On the main page here, there's this option called silent mode. When you click on it, it becomes red. That's actually make it very much quieter. And this is what it would look like when you use the app. I had the microphone very close to the Slypod, so you probably can hear the noise.
I don't know about you guys, but like the only reason I'd ever use the fastest mode is when I'm framing my shot, like when I'm trying to see where the beginning point and when the end point is. Most of the time, I'm going to be using like 50% maximum. For the time-lapse stuff, I was on 1 or 2% when I was doing that.
Exactly.
So yeah, the maximum speed for me, the only reason I'm ever going to use it is to see where my shot's going to finish.
I'm mostly running on 25 or sometimes even lower, depending on the shot. If I'm doing macro shots, definitely lower.
Yeah, and you will see like on the maximum speed, there is like a little jump at the beginning, but if you're on a slower speed, then it's like smooth continuously throughout.
All right, so
for that you can compensate in the creative mode with the slow start.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then you don't have the jump in the beginning. That's the difference between remote control and the creative video mode.
So in the main menu here, you also have upgrade. Basically, you can upgrade the firmware. You can also go to settings, give it some indicator light, which means that the light here on the bottom of the base, you can change the color you want. I don't want to change it. I like the color it has right now. You can also calibrate the Slypod Pro to make sure it actually works smoothly. You usually don't do that unless you are changing from one huge environment, like a weather very cold to a very hot and something like that you're going to do. This is toward me. John, thank you for asking about my cat. He's sleeping right now, so he will not show up anymore until he hears lots of noise. That he probably come out there and make a noise like crazy. I would say, what else I have here? Popping down a little bit. There's a lot of comments. I just had to try to find the right one that I have a question about. This is a good one. This person proper means that he can create a mounting light into it and then do dynamic lighting.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, great for replicating the shot over and over again with lights, because you can just set it to move however you want.
Yeah. Anybody have any question about the app itself? And or, I mean, I'm going to go into the linkage later because I unscrew everything here and set it up again. Any question, guys? Or you guys have any comment that you want to, any tips you want to demonstrate? Chris, Attila?
I haven't got any tips, but I just want to say like how flexible this is. Somebody mentioned earlier that they'd never seen such a specific product, and I would argue that it's like the least specific product ever because it can do so much different stuff. It could be a monopod, it can be a jib arm, it can be a motorized slider, and it can be a full motion control unit if you put a gimbal on the top of it. And it's no different to just chuck in a normal monopod in the back of the car. I was demonstrating this on a video shoot yesterday to a couple of my friends, and they just couldn't believe that you could get something this like small with so much functionality. It's just unreal for me. Oh, and one other thing. When Attila was talking about product photography earlier, I had to do a shoot. I've got 2 Pepsi cans, and these are going to demonstrate for me, where I had to go in between the Pepsi cans like this. And there was literally no way of being able to do it without Slypod. I couldn't think of another option. So the Slypod was the only product for the job.
That's true. That's also one of the things I mostly use it if I want to go in between 2 subjects, or I want to go very close to it, where you normally would like to need to use a gimbal or something because there's no space to do any kind of railing or whatsoever. And with the Slypod, that's the cool thing. You just go there with your lens and then retract it and reveal the product or the scene or whatever. So I think it's one of the coolest tools, even though if not many people know about it, I think it's a hidden champion, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Oh, here's a question.
Oh, wow.
Definitely you can connect both of them together. That's not gonna be a problem. I don't think you can use the software to connect them both, controlling them both at the same time yet. But they are actually programming that. Yeah, you can actually, the only way you're able to do is controlling them physically with the button on the Slypod.
I mean, you could do it with 2 phones.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good idea. Actually, that's very good idea. Definitely can do that. Yes. So yes, and yes, you can be able to connect both of them, just like a light saver, one back to back to each other, and then this go this direction, the other go that direction, and they use 2 apps. Then you should be able to do that.
But you will need a heavy sandbag to counterweight that contraption.
Well, if you had 4 tripods. Oh no, you wouldn't be able to do that, would you? That wouldn't work. No, forget that.
The one on the other, and then you have full extension, so it could get tricky.
Yeah, it's going to be fiddly, definitely.
You can use 2 tripods. One in this section, the top part of it is for one tripod. The other one be the other side tripod. Then can go left and right. Kind of good idea. I mean, we did it in the last live stream. I have this on top of the other one. I'm sorry, this one on top of this one, and go up and down forever. It hit my ceiling fan, and then it fell down and hit Nick in the background. So yeah, you can definitely do that. You can actually use a jib. I don't think you can put a lot of weight on as a jib, just because this will bend. I mean, it's carbon fiber, so they're gonna bend a little bit. So we can see why not do that. All right, so
I mean, with the gimbal, it worked just fine. So 3.5 kilos were no issues. So there you did not have any kind of bending or nothing. At least you would notice right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right.
You probably don't want to put one on top of the other and then a gimbal and then fully extend it and use it as a jib arm.
Yeah, you can do it that way too. You can connect it as many you want to. One thing you have to be keep in mind is if you're using the app controlling the Slypod Pro, the physical button do not work. I'm trying it right now. It just won't go up and down. So the only way they can make it work is you have to disconnect it from the app.
It does work on the Slypod E. So
really?
That might be coming in future.
Oh man. Or I screw up my Slypod. I don't know why.
Mine extends and it's connected to the app right now. So it's maybe your unit.
All right, let me try it again. Maybe just me. See, it doesn't like me in live stuff. You notice I cannot hurt anybody today, so I had to try a way to hurt me up, hurt my show, hurt the show. All right, it's connected. It's not. Look at that. I can do the app, but you won't do it.
I think it's fair to say the production model will work because this one works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had some small issues, but I guess they will be sorted out once they ship the final product. I mean, these are super early models. So, I mean, it's normal for stuff like this to have some quirks in the beginning.
So, apparently I actually have this automatically only pair with my Slypod Pro. This is a hand unit. This is a hand remote unit that you can buy separately. And it looks like the iFocus M hand unit controller, but it is not the same in the sense of the firmware inside is actually for the Slypod or Slypod E or the original Slypod. Don't think you can see the screen. Right now it's set for FO, which means you can use the wheel and control it. Right in front of me, so you can actually see. Okay. So you can decide how slow you want to go or how fast you want to go by moving the wheel. You can also control by having up and down, using only the keypad there, the wheel, the bottom part of it here, the dial part of it, to control the speed. You can actually tell the speed, but speed will be, so you can see it. Like in the bottom here, nope, my camera do not focus this close. So okay, in the bottom there says speed, and we'll have a 0.8. You can go all the way to 30, which is the highest speed, and then you can go up, see how fast it goes. You go down a little bit the speed wise, the down, and you can go down slower. So this is all you can do with a remote control, which is not bad. So in reality, you don't really need this. This will do the job for you, so you don't have to worry about considering getting this anyway. So that's not a cool feature you want to think about. So
just on that subject, I was talking to Johnny about this the other day. You can, when you're using the app, if you've set the app to do a movement and you're doing time lapse, then you can actually close the app. You can on Android anyway. I don't know about iPhones, but you can close the app and go and do other things and then come back to the app and the movement is still going. So you don't have to worry about, like, if you're doing a 40-minute time lapse, you don't have to worry about keeping the app open the whole time, which was, reassuring.
A lot of people do not have any questions. Kind of disappointing. Oh, I'm gonna cry now. Maybe
do you trust the mini tripod included for outdoors with wind?
That's a good one.
I think even on my Slypod E, the tripod's pretty good. I know the one on the Slypod Pro is much bigger. It's a much bigger footprint. So I would.
If you're outside with the wind and you're really afraid, put some sandbag or secure it down to the ground. That will help a lot more than just worrying about it. I'm going to try to put this AirCross tool to the Slypod Pro. I'm going to try to demonstrate quickly about the linkage. I'm not very good at it, so do not make fun of me. You can make fun of Chris or Attila. That's fine. But just kidding. It's not fake for anybody. So any other question? Any kind of tips, Chris or Attila, you guys want to throw out this?
Well, when I was using it to make that, sorry, carry on. Okay, I'll go.
Chris.
Okay, that's fine. When I was using it to do that time lapse the other day, you can actually mount the camera upside down on it. So if you want to get really close to the floor, like in the opening shot of the video, you can literally have the lens on the floor and then lift up from the ground. That's a really nice shot. And something that's different from the Slypod E, if you're still deciding whether you want the Pro or the E, you have to take the camera off of the Slypod E in order to change the orientation, whereas with the Slypod Pro, you just have to undo two knobs and then it moves in a 360-degree way, I believe. Whereas this, you literally have to take it off every time. If you're shooting side on and then you want to shoot forward, you need to take the camera off and turn it around, which bugs me. So the Slypod Pro definitely addresses that.
Attila?
And also the noise between the Slypod E on the Slypod Pro. I mean, having the option to do such shots, even with audio, without the annoying grindy sound in the background, is really, really cool. And also, I think the extended length. I mean, this is the Slypod E, just as comparison. And I'm hoping the Pro isn't tipping over if I'm fully extending it here now, because I'm not having my counterweight ready. I hope you can kind of see it. If I move it over here, up a lot, and there goes the gimbal.
Ouch!
This is live. This is live.
Wow.
All right.
That's what you were saying about that top mount being good, but if you put a gimbal on it, you might want to put a more heavy-duty one on.
That's what I meant. So definitely replace the head if you're going for a heavier setup.
Is your gimbal okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
There's no glass on the front of that lens anymore, though.
You broke the lens? I don't think you broke the lens.
No, I'm joking.
He's just kidding. He's just kidding.
It's still all right.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So that's the Slypod Pro compared to the Slypod E fully extended. So you get the extra working length, and I think this enables you to get even more creative with it.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate the linkage part, how to connect them together. By how to use them is different story, just because I'm not really good at it. This is the screen you see when you connect the Slypod to your app. And then from there, when you click Linkage Control, you're going to give you all these tips. You say, got it, go to connect. And then you had to search for your, this is where, yeah, go back again. Let's do this again. Linkage, you say, got it. Then you're going to have to confirm, give you tips here. So you can see this in this screen here, only Slypod is listed there. Now you're going to press the little white plus symbol on the top corner, top right corner, and look for the device. Why it's not saying I don't do the device? That doesn't make sense. My game was on. You know what you have to do? Let me start over again. I screwed up. I just realized what I did wrong. When you go to Linkage account, actually, before you do that, you're going to make sure you go back to the main menu and then make sure you select AirCross 2 and connect to. So both of them had to be connected. So when both are connected, then you go back to Slypod connection part of it, and then go to Linkage. Then you see this page where it says Slypod only. Here you can add the AirCross, where you can see now it's appearing. You click there, you confirm. Now you can basically control in the same app the AirCross and Slypod at the same time. So basically, in the bottom here is the information for Slypod. Chris or Attila, you guys know about this. Feel free to comment here because I have no idea how this works yet. So, so in the AirCross part of it, yeah, but no, in the Slypod part of it, the AirCross part, you have all the 4 different options: track recording, fixed point time-lapse, motion time-lapse, variable time-lapse. You should use the basic one with the track recording. So basically, you have the AirCross do the motion you need to do, confirming, and that's all you do. And the Slypod part, then you have the information about what the path information, the numbers, and total shooting time. So when you see the screen here, it's basically for AirCross. I'm going to show the screen here. This here to AirCross, where you add a point. And then you move it. See how the AirCross is moving? Yes, the second point, you move the position, and that's your second point. And that's what you see here. I created just 2 points. You can so set up, and then you can switch this Slypod waypoint, see how far you want to go, which means I want to go higher. Maybe not that high, because you can see the head when it's moving. We'll go down this way. Then say OK. You ask you about, like Attila mentioned earlier, how many times and to that go to the point. Say OK, and you click on Setup Complete, and then you can start. Oh, what thing? I got something else I need to set correctly. I didn't do right. But check if the arriving time is the track record. See, that's why I don't understand how I'm doing, what I'm doing wrong.
You maybe need to adjust the travel time. If the travel time is too short for the segment you specified, then
right,
you need to extend the travel time. It was set to 17 seconds or so.
That would be on the yeah, it's 17 right now. I just set it 17. See that one? That's either. I just make it work a couple days ago, yesterday. Come on. Switch waypoint. That's nothing to do there.
Okay.
That's not it. That's correct. Nothing we can change there. So basically, once you get this done correctly, which I don't know what I'm doing yet, you press start, you will actually do the motion. You know, the Slypod will go up. I'm gonna go try and change this a little bit higher. Nope. One of these days, right? Let me make this shorter. Come on. So which one I need to do, Attila? On the number of path or the number of segmentation?
I think it automatically adjusts the running time according to your length. So it did set it now to 20. I mean, you set it now to 20, so that shouldn't be an issue. But if I'm reading the message correctly, you need to alter the AirCross's path and make sure that it's fully configured.
Across here. Oh, here. That might be that's the.
Why is your arrival time? Ah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So you go to the start. Hopefully you can see the across moving. If not, I'm going to move it. Drop it. It's moving slowly. You can see it moving.
Today it's Gimbal crashing day, I'd say.
I hear ya.
Is the Gimbal all right?
Yeah, it just went to sleep. Yep, Gimbal's all right.
Strong stuff.
Chris, now you need to crash your Gimbal.
Yeah, shall I go get one to break? I'm sure I can find one around here somewhere.
So I'm gonna see whether this will work, because I should have put this on tripod or not. No, it's not gonna do it. Nate, give me a hand. I need you to hold this thing. Hold this part of it. Oh yeah, I should bring the tripod. Duh. Not this tripod. Bring this tripod over. Yep. Slide this in there. Reverse. Thank you. This is Nick. He's my helping hand.
Hi, Nick.
Hey there.
Hi, Nick.
Like it. Thank you.
I heard a noise, so I assumed that something was about to fall on my head.
In front of my desk, that's for sure. All right, so wait to see when I do it work. We'll do a start again. Need to lease. Oh, go back and connect Slypod AirCross. I got disconnected earlier. Go back to Slypod. Go connecting there. Add the AirCross. And go to motion. Track recording. Now that I know what I was doing, it's moving this way now. Okay. 0.1, 0.2. You guys seeing the screen? The thing moving, right? And then move this in 12. Set complete. Does it work? No, I forgot the Slypod part of it. Did I just make another mistake? What happened to 2? Okay.
Maybe it's because your camera's upside down. Maybe you need to reset the gimbal.
Gimbal set. There you go. Hopefully it doesn't break. So you see it go back to normal and you go to this first point of the AirCross 2. And then it's going to start moving very slowly forward. You can see it's actually moving forward. You see the AirCross 2 is moving too. It's upside down, but it does the job anyway. So I just realized it's upside down. I can tell I was running around in the past in a very, very cold weather and running this on the snow. And my AirCross 2 actually fell to the ground with the snow. Yeah, I mean, we have lots of accidents. That's going to happen when we do it live. You know, you never know what happened. So this is it. Basically, do it. You can actually start again, and it will tell you that you're going to reset everything. Then it will do it again, the whole process. Currently, right now, it does not have the loop control where you basically loop the whole process forever. So this is all you can do. Even though it's upside down, you get the picture. It's doing it. So that's that. All right, let's get this out of the way before I break it again. Thank you. John has this question. Anybody have any answer for that?
Yeah, that definitely could be done.
Yeah.
I mean, if there would be an option to team them up, like do a module teaming or something where you can program both Slypods to do different things. I mean, that would be actually a cool idea.
Yeah, totally. We have another question. My hand's tied. Switching again. So Bernhardt was hoping that there's going to have a control for Mini P compatibility. I'm hoping that's going to happen. I know for a fact right now only the AirCross 2 have the linkage capability. So hopefully in the future they actually can do that for Mini P and other gimbals. I don't know what happened here, but I can't put it together anymore. There you go. But at least, hey, look, it still works.
Very good.
It's just like Ati. His gimbal still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
looking good.
Still good, right? Good.
Yeah.
But I do hope that eventually linkage with the Slypod Pro, even though unfortunately Air 2 is about 9 pounds of the maximum payload, and the Air 2 itself is about 2 pounds, so you have about 10 pounds you have to put in there. So maybe too heavy for the Slypod. Going horizontally, vertically should be able to do okay. I tried to put a Blackmagic Pocket 4K, this one, into the AirCross 2. I could not make it happen. I also know why I didn't be able to make it work, but that's a different story. So any other question you guys have, or are we good? So yes, Toshi, definitely, if you have a solid tripod, you definitely can do a better job and everything. And again, be careful. If you're going to put an AirCross 2, like I did, or the DJI Ronin SC that Attila did, change the head to something better and stronger. Otherwise, you just saw what happened to us.
Or another thing you could do, you can also mount it to the screw in the front of the rod. So you can attach the gimbal on the rod directly, so you don't have a head in between. Therefore, it cannot fall off, but you will have more leverage, so you will definitely need a sandbag or counterweights.
Totally. Should have told me that earlier, so I don't have the problem too. I basically, literally speaking, watching you having your accident, and I'm doing the same thing too.
But that's the beauty about life, isn't it?
I don't know. I did not learn from your mistake.
Wait, let me just get my gimbal. I'm going to try it. No.
You know the different thing with that? Oh man.
This is a broken DJI Ronin SC. Before anyone tells me off for breaking it, it's already broken.
Yeah, okay, you broke it. It's already broken. That's all good. I think the app is very, very, very useful. There's a lot of option features there. Just had to get to learn how to use it. I do know that eventually they want to be able to control 2 Slypod at the same time that you can do what we just did with the linkage. But that's the different story, and then have to wait for new firmware updates. So we almost at the end of the time. Any quick comments or tips, final tip for the users like Chris or Attila, since we don't have that many questions today?
Are you going to show the time-lapse video that I shot?
Thank you. You just reminded me.
But it's there.
Yeah, why don't you talk a little bit, Chris, about the time-lapse before I show it?
Okay, so I went out a couple of days ago looking for things to try out with the Slypod E to show you guys some time-lapse stuff. I live right next to Stonehenge, so I thought I'm just going to go to Stonehenge and do some stuff around there. I tried to mount it in as many different places as I could to show you like how you can use the Slypod. And if I had the Slypod Pro, if it had arrived in time, I probably would have been able to do some much more dramatic shots. The sky was really boring, but I did the best I could. Yeah, the sky could have been a bit more interesting. Let's just put it like that. But yeah,
okay. It
still turned out okay, I think. So
yeah. All right, let's check it out. Okay.
Oh,
That was really nice.
thanks, man.
Amazing job, Chris.
I want to go visit.
Congrats.
I want to go visit you now. Again, stay
Yeah,
in
you can
your
come
house
stay at
and
my
check out
house.
the place. Yeah, there you go. I said, what,
Literally 5 minutes from my front door.
Wow. Do you see any aliens and stuff like that?
No, they light it up sometimes, which is really cool. They have like big pillars of light coming out the middle of it, which looks like an alien. So yeah,
it's very cool. So it's very cool. So how long did it take you to put it together? This whole time-lapse, the time-lapse.
It was probably about 4 or 5 hours of shooting and 2 or 3 hours of editing. It didn't take me long to put it together. So,
but then with the setup, the whole Slypod, everything took you what, half an hour?
What do you mean?
Like set up the camera, set up Slypod, that part of it, without starting the time-lapse.
Without starting the time lapse, like actually setting up the camera with the Slypod, like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, so that's the idea. How quickly you can put it working together.
So I had the Slypod mounted to a tripod with the camera on the head, and it was a video head, so I could tilt the Slypod up and down however I wanted, put it in whatever position I wanted. Like it takes seconds to put it into the position that I want to get. The main bit that takes the time is that starting point and the end point, and just finding where those two bits are. Once you've done that, you just set it off and away you go.
Very cool. I think we are at the time. I think we do have this question, I think, from John. That's actually a very quick question. Yes, if you use a mini P and you want to control that with one phone and use the Slypod on another phone, you definitely can be able to control both of them at the same time. You just have to calculate it correctly, and that should not be a problem. And then boxing, you don't really have to have two main parts. People, I just be doing demonstration. We're doing this live, so it's something to help me have somebody there to help me out. So that's very good. So I totally forgot. You can actually right now still be able to get it to a Kickstarter. I think it's about $140 off for the regular retail price, and they already went about 3,250% overreach, which is a very successful crowdfunding. So other than that, thank you, Attila and Chris, to be here with me. We have lots of fun breaking stuff today.
See you next time. Breaking stuff.
That's always a good thing. We didn't break anything, so it looks like we tried to break it, but that didn't happen. That means that we have really good equipment and gears. They don't get breakable. And then thanks to everybody watching us. Proper, Tashi, Jeff, Boxing, John, Efran, and a bunch of people here watching. Appreciate you being here with us. Hope to see you guys in May. We definitely have 2 more live stream coming in May with different guests, and hopefully you guys can join us again. We'll see you guys, and thanks again, Attila and Chris. And have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe, guys.